If women understood and exercised their power, they could remake the world. A noteworthy quote by Emily Todd Douglas. A very good evening to our distinguished guests and all our spectators joining us today. I'm Hasini Samaratunga, moderator for today's evening, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to the very first event organized by the Women in Engineering Affinity Group of IEEE Student Branch of University of California. She the Power. Here at WIEE, our goal is to encourage and inspire young women to do something more than what they are doing and becoming. She the Power aims to motivate and inspire women with passionate souls to lift themselves up in the roadmap to success in life, whether you are looking for some motivation to stay on top of your game or some inspiration to lift yourself up. This session is for you. We have a very distinguished guest speaker with us today, Ms. Rasini Bandara, who is here to encourage and motivate the young women here. But before I invite our speaker onto this virtual stage, I would like to make a quick announcement to all the participants. If you get any questions throughout the session, you may use the chat box to drop them in. And at the end of the session, our guest speaker will gladly answer your questions. Also, this is an interactive session, and we strongly encourage you to turn on your mic and interact with our guest speaker. But kindly keep your mic off at all other times throughout the session so as to not to disrupt the speaker. With that being said, let me introduce you our guest speaker today, a renowned public speaker, at times a personal development coach, a psychologist, and a counselor who graduated in psychology. She's also a Rhodes Scholar lecturer, English language skill development teacher, and an independent trainer under her own brand. She is currently working at Mind Heals as an online counselor, spreading awareness to the importance of mental health. She's an individual with many talents. Please welcome Ms. Rasini Bandara with a virtual round of applause onto the spotlight. Ms. Rasini, the spotlight is all yours to set off the spark in our young women here.
Thank you so much, Hasini. I hope I'm audible and clear.
Yes, Miss.
Right. So, welcome everyone, all these amazing ladies. If there are gentlemen also present, I welcome all of you. So, IEEE WIE is very, very special for me. It's because of the fact I was once had the privilege of going to the Congress organized in Wimber University. And at the same time, I have a few very close friends. I managed to make a few close friends in this IEEE group, and especially WIE also. It's always very intimidating to me to speak to all you amazing and very talented youngsters, because I myself see you all as a very different caliber of women, mostly. And I can see a gentleman also on the screen here. So I would say men and women all, because you all are exceptionally good in mathematics. That I know, and that is a very intimidating factor for me because I was horrible at it in school. But however, it is indeed great to be here, and quite an honor that with the title of She the Power, you all considered that I'm credible enough to come and speak to you all today. So please, I would actually honestly like to make a small request, Hasini. I would like to ask everyone. Oh, we have Zina also. Zina is somebody who continuously had this communication going with me. Hi, Zina. Nice to see you here.
Hi,
Would like
Rasin.
to make would like to make a request. If you all can switch off your microphones, that's okay. But maybe switch on your camera and be present with me over here. Would add a fantastic, I would say, a personal factor for me to look at all your beautiful faces and do this. I will not feel nervous also, and I will not feel crazy also, like talking to myself. Others, I will have to use Hasini as my guinea pig for the day, because I don't want to put, let's say, a PowerPoint presentation and take away all that and have death by PowerPoint happening. So I would like to mainly have it like a more conversation. Thank you so much to everyone. It doesn't matter, whether you feel like, I don't look better, I look like Jungle Book, Corals, Animal Planet, I can't switch on my camera, but don't feel that way. It's all about embracing the beautiful mess you are, right? So thank you so much, Sandali, Malshani, Zina, Nipuni, Gitmi, and Hasini for being here. I hope and pray that the others will join this conversation as well. So, Hasini, before I actually start, there's this particular video that I came across that I absolutely, absolutely love. So you can see let me, Zina, you can see there's a folder I've opened now.
Yeah, yeah, I see.
Fantastic. All right. So this story, right, is a true story about this two girls. I call the barbershop girls. Have you all ever seen this? I'm asking all my girls over here on screen. I can see. If
Mm,
not, I'll be very happy.
no.
If you have seen also, but still that's okay, right? Okay, so let's watch this and see. It's a beautiful story. I want you to really pay attention, and later on we'll discuss about it, right? Okay, here we go. Is that clear? You hear the sound? Perfect.
बापू कहते हैं बच्चे जो देखते हैं उसी से सीखते हैं जुग जुग जिया अब यहाँ के तौर तरीके ही देख लो
Wait, I'll put it from the beginning because there is a statement. So let me just.
बापू कहते हैं बच्चे जो देखते हैं उसी से सीखते हैं जुग जुग जिया अब यहाँ के तौर तरीके ही देख लो जुग जुग जिया सुलाला नवा भवनवा के भाग जागल हो लड़के क्या कर सकते हैं और लड़कियां क्या नहीं ये तो यहाँ दिख ही जाता है भाग जागल हो पिताजी का पेशा ही ले लो शायद लड़कों को विरासत में मिलता है मगर ऐसा नहीं कि लड़कियों को कुछ नहीं मिलता मैंने देखा है उन्हें भी मिलता है गृहस्थी रसोई घर की जिम्मेदारी नाची नाची गावेली बाहिनी ललन के खेला बेली हो जुग जुग जिया सुनवा
क्यों काका दाढ़ी बना दूं?
हाँ हाँ
बापू ये लड़की होके उस तरह चलाएगी
अरे बेटा उस तरह को क्या पता कि चलाए वाला लड़का है या लड़की क्यों चल बेटा फटाफट दाढ़ी बना
जुग जुग जिया तो बाबोनिया के दुनिया जोर कइलो जुग जुग जिया तो बाबोनिया के दुनिया जोर कइलो सही कहते हैं बापू बच्चे जो देखते हैं उसी से सीखते हैं ना 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 ना
Right. I hope you all understood the story, right? Made me quite emotional also. So there's a beautiful line at the end. He says that, being a girl, will she be able to give a shave? Right? Ustara chalana means the අපි කියන්නේ දැලිපිය කියලා පුතාලා. Right? So ගෑනු ළමයෙක් කියලා දැලිපිය පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? එයාට කියලා තමයි අහන්නේ. එතකොට අහන්නේ දැලිපිය කොහොමද දන්නේ? මේක කපන්නේ ගෑනු ළමයෙක්ද පිරිමි ළමයෙක්ද කියලා. So I think that is where we should start. So being here in IEEE, WIE, I hope you all are aspiring to be women engineers. Is that right? Am I right? Or maybe already in the line to go into there. Electronics, how do you define it, Hasini? Institute of Electronics, how do you say it?
Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. I hope I'm right.
Yeah. You should know how to say it. It's not me, I should know it. Right, okay. But yeah, so aspiring engineers to be, right? I don't think there should be any factor, right? Any other factor other than the passion you are, the knowledge you are, or else the drive that you all have as individuals, right? That should actually matter in you becoming what you want to be, girls. Okay? And even if there are boys over here, there shouldn't be any other reason, right? Other than your drive, your passion, the knowledge that you have, right? And the dream that you have. Nothing else is actually pretty much matters in this scenario. It doesn't matter the fact that whether you're a boy or a girl. What is being a boy or a girl? Right? In this particular society, nowadays, I always tell this. Now, on the 8th of March, what did we have on the 8th of March? 9th was my birthday. What did we have on the 8th? It was Women's Day, International Women's Day, right? International Women's Day. I saw so many men looking at me like, oh my God, like today should not even say anything, right? Even I think my husband, he was in his best behavior on Women's Day, right? Okay. So we had the Women's Day and people were talking about this particular topic. What? Empowering women, women empowerment, isn't it? You've heard it? Have you heard it? Kanta balaganweema. කාන්තාවන්ට ශක්තිය දෙන්න ඕනේ, ධෛර්යය දෙන්න ඕනේ, බල ගන්නවන්න ඕනේ. Right? මේ ටික ඔක්කොම හරියට කතා කරා. So every forum that I went to, I asked them, if women are the ones who need empowerment, if women are the ones who need power and all these things, then why do so many men commit suicide in this society? Then there is a problem somewhere, no? Don't you think? Somewhere problem, right? If women are the ones who need all this strength and power and everything, why do so many men commit suicide? Why do so many men suffer from cardio-related problems? Type A diabetes, mental health-related problems. Everything is connected to mental health. So then we are after empowering women. Is it necessary? So what I told each and every audience was that it's not women empowerment we should be after. It should be empowering humanity, what we are losing. So let's start respecting each other as humans, not focusing on this particular concept called men and women. And also what we need to understand is that, men are not your enemy. So sometimes people think, oh yeah, if you're a feminist, right? If you are speaking for women, that means, you must be hating men. You don't have to hate men. I absolutely love men. I have nothing against them, right? They're such a wonderful set of individuals. But the problem is toxicity. So is it only catered for men? Are men the only people who are toxic? When you listen to news, when you watch news, my girls, you tell me, right? Uh, really nasty things done to women or even for men. Is it only committed by men? No. Abusing and all these things is only committed by men? No. It's committed by women also, right? Child abuse, right? Molestation, all these things are done by women also, right? Isn't it? Physical abuse, right? Mentally abuse, emotional abuse, all these things are done by women also. So it's a matter of that toxicity. So toxicity is applicable for men and women both, right? It's not just for one particular group of individuals. So if you're thinking, if somebody ever tells you, look, this society is like this, it will actually you'll be pulled down by men and you'll be questioned, it will never happen. Of course it'll happen from both the parties, right? That is something you all need to understand. So number one thing I think you need to know who your enemy is. If there's anything that is stopping you to reach to the highest pinnacle of life, who's that enemy? Can any of you tell me? No right and wrong answers, huh? Please. Anybody? Just any guess who this enemy is?
Again, a woman.
Again, a woman. Yeah, possible. If there's somebody who is actually pulling you back in life, gonna pull you back in life and stop you and limit you as an individual, that is only you, no one else. Right? So get me, if you ever stop your journey, there's only one person to blame. That is get me and get me only. No one else. Right? So this is something you need to understand. Okay. Got it, get me? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you know what? Mostly, I would tell you, women, what happens to them? They take a bus ticket to go to Anuradhapura. Let's say we have Netmini here. Netmini takes a bus ticket to go to Anuradhapura. Suddenly feel like I want to visit Anuradhapura. And on the way, she gets down somewhere in Gampaha. This is what we all do to ourselves actually. You take a ticket to go to a longer destination, you stop your journey halfway through. Then what do? We apply a lot for it. We say, oh my God, you know what? My boyfriend doesn't want me to do this much. So I thought, I should not. Then, I think, my husband wouldn't like me working. So I stop it. Okay, I'm having kids. So I want to limit myself. I gave up my life for all of you, right? And now it sucks for you. You are ready to look back and curse on everybody who were responsible in taking that life away from you. Right? This is something that I have mostly seen in a lot of people. සමහරවිට මෙතනින දුවලා පුතාලාගේ අම්මලාගෙන් එහෙම තාම නම් අහන්න හම්බෙලා නැතු තව ටික කාලයක් ගියාම අහන්න හම්බෙයි මම විඳපු දුක the suffocation I had to go through, right, for you උදේ ඉඳලා රෑ වෙනකන් I never had a life, right? I often overhear this, mostly some parents talking, from morning to night, I've been taking this one for tuition classes and school, and then this training, that training, sports and this and that. I never even had 5 minutes to run to the salon. I never could work out and do all those things, right? And then now give my life back, right? So you are also so obliged. Oh my God, they have done so much for me. I have to do this for them, right? I'm not saying that it's everyone's case, but in most case scenario, a lot of people do things for their parents. It's a beautiful thing to do things for their parents. But don't just do it for them. Do it for you also, right? Because more than what you think, what we are mostly focused a lot is what the society thinks, what everyone else thinks of us. Now, to be very honest, Putala, like if you take me, right, as an individual, I've had my set of insecurities from smaller days. I was also a society pleaser, right? I had a lot of problems where I had insecurities. I had the comparison game running in my head, right? My weight was a problem for me, right? That, I felt that, I don't have a very appealing kind of a body when I was younger, when I was a teenager. I had a problem with my skin tone, right? I wanted to be fair, so I drank only milk. My mother was very beautiful. She was very fair. My father was my color, actually a little darker. Now I think I've gone a little, maybe one tone lighter. So I wanted to be fair, like my mom. I thought, that is a definition of beauty, right? So having a slim, nice body is the definition of beauty. So because of the fact that a lot of people compare it, my aunties, uncles, and everyone had a problem with my shape. All of them had a problem with my skin tone. They had a lot of problems going in the country. But whenever they met me, I was their only problem. Right? අච්චර දැන් ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපි ඉන්න කාලේ රටේ යුද්ධයක් තිබුණා. අවුරුදු 30ක යුද්ධයක් කොයි වෙලාවෙ බෝම්බ පුරනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. හරි? මාව හම්බෙච්ච ගමන් ටොපික් එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. අනේ ගාලා තමයි පටන් ගන්න. ඉතින් මට දකිද්දිම right, like my entire like self-esteem goes for 6, right? And then එතනින් නතර වෙන්නේ නැහැ because you have a big family and you have aunties, uncles, ලොකු අම්මලා, then ආච්චි අම්මලා ඔක්කොම ඉන්නවනේ everyone. Whenever I felt, but then something I saw was, even the ones who were very beautiful also had the same problem. Because whenever they used to go there, they had a problem that they have gone too slim. Right? So I often question that. Then I thought earlier becoming a bit chubby or even a little fatter was the problem. But then no, I realized even being slim is a problem. Then slowly, when I go to realize that, sometimes even becoming the best, my version of best was never the best version for them. They always had an alternative that they admired. Right? When I used to say that, I go to Visakha, they were like, it's okay, but, don't you think that in museums the education is quite better? Right? So then let's say, for example, as I grew older, when I had my kids, right? And when I got married, when I was 23 years of age, which was very, very young. And then they were like, oh my God, why are you getting married when you're like 23? And then now I see that when my cousins get married, when they're 35 and all that, oh my God, like so late, no, what happened? So earlier also is a problem, later on is also a problem, right? I'm sure you must be getting this also, when you say that, I'm studying engineering. Do you think it will be possible for you to make anything in life after doing engineering? Like so many years wasting in university, right? So that must be the look that you're getting. I don't know. Might be, might not be. Okay. Let's say when I had a son, first of all, they were like, and you should have a daughter, right? I mean, daughter is the one who stays with parents at the end of the day. Let's say you have a son, or, let's say you have a daughter, without having a son, a mother is not complete actually, right? So through a very long, lengthier time in my life, I have been a victim of this comparison game, right? My father tried to explain many things to me, but I never realized it. After some time only, properly looking at these things and analyzing these things, I realized that this particular quote is absolutely right. Personality begins where comparison ends. So my dearest girls, this is something you should put an end to. I met this wonderful university student recently who told me, ma'am, I'm so upset because of the fact that my brother got an honors degree, right? He went abroad. And now, what I said, baby, you don't have the same brain as your brothers, right? That is one thing you need to understand. It doesn't function the same way. Then she was like, all my cousins are in the banking profession and I'm in agriculture. And they are like, what are you going to do, like doing agriculture? And I said, once, if one day that all of you are going to go hungry, right, and lose job, I can, fix up this farm or something and I can give you some sort of food. At least that I can do, right? So you come up with your own strategy of dealing with these negative stereotypes that's coming from the society. It's not only for women or for men, it's for everybody, right? Comparison game is done for every individual. But what do we think when it comes to these things? We think this is empowerment, right? So we constantly, being women or being men, seek empowerment from others. දැන් මේකත් සමහර තැන් පොඩි වැරදියට අල්ලගෙන ඉන්න තැන් තියෙනවා. Those are things like this. Some people think you need to do an 8 to 5 job to be empowered. A corporate leader to be empowered. No, you don't have to. Right? Some people think that becoming a mother is empowerment. No, becoming a mother will not make you empowered. Okay. What will make you empowered? Embracing the fact that this is what empowerment is for me. If you think, I don't want to do a job, I want to be a full-time mom, right? And I want to, bring up this particular individual to the society. I want to enjoy my life again, a childhood with this little one, and I'm ready to give everything I have for this baby, and I love it, I enjoy it, I want it. That is Putala empowerment, right? If you think, you know what, I want to bring up children, at the same time, I want to go up the corporate ladder. I want to be a woman who will balance everything, home and my work, right? Work will give me the happiness that someday, I want my kids to follow my footsteps and be there, right? And this work makes me happy, right? Yes, it's tough, but it makes me happy. That is empowerment. If you think, oh my God, I don't want to have kids, I just love cuddling them only, right? I love cuddling other people's children, okay? I love making kuchiku with other people's children when the babies are washed and nice and diapers changed and given to me. But I don't want to. I'm very happy being this way. That is empowerment. The minute that you mistake it to something else is the time that you lose this empowerment in you. So what is empowerment actually? It's what you believe in. It's what you want. Right? It is what you want. For me, I thought, you know what? I would get married. I'll have kids early. I have a story for it. Why I wanted children earlier in my life. Okay. And only after 33 years of age, only I started doing everything that I'm doing now. I am empowered because of the fact that I believe this is empowerment for me. Next time somebody tells me, no, Rasini, this is not empowerment. Empowerment is something else. And then if I go after it, then I will lose that empowerment that I have, I already carry. So empowerment is not something someone can give you. Every one of you, the ones who I can see over here, Sandali, Netmini, Hasini, Zina, Nipuni, Gitmi, all of you, you all have empowerment within you, right? That particular bulb with Maya Angelou said, nothing can dim that light that shines within. It's true when you think about it. Because you need to know what empowerment is to you. If Sandali one day feels, after studying all of this, no, I want to drop everything. I want to be a stay-home mom. embrace it, love it, accept it, and you will be empowered. Not a single day you will doubt yourself, baby. Right? Let's say if Zina gets so much of pressure from the society, but still decides the fact that, you know what, no, I want to not just conquer Sri Lanka, I want to conquer the world, right? With my knowledge and these things, and maybe someday go on to become some engineer, right, in some hi-fi company abroad, right? If that's what you want, then that's empowerment for her, right? If Nipuni someday feels like, you know what, I want to have my own place, my own company, right? Build everything from scratch. And that is what is something going to be empowering to me. That is going to be empowerment for Nipuni. It's because she is the one who's wanting it. When you want what you want, when you have the drive and the passion to do what you want, right? Go after what you want, baby, you are already empowered. And there's nothing in this world that can limit you, right? So, in order to be a complete woman, you don't have to do all these roles, right? But you should do all these roles. It's because you want them to, right? It's because you want them to. Right? Just because you become a mom doesn't mean that you become the epitome of a woman. I have friends who have decided that they don't want to have children. But I have not seen them ever rude or nasty to kids. I see them so great around my kids, right? Such a delight to have them. My kids absolutely love them. But not for me. It's not what I want, right? And then they have also had the privilege of finding a partner who will support them with what they want. That's point number 2. Someday, which is going to happen to all of you as well. And also, if they feel like, if they realize either the partner or the relationship that you have got to is actually limiting you as an individual, draining you as an individual, putting you mentally down, right? And you feel like suffocating, then they have also made the choice in moving away from it. Never be in any relationship that drains you down as a person, whether it's a boyfriend, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's anyone else. Right? Never be around people who disturbs your energy. Right? If your energy is not damaging to anyone, you shouldn't be ashamed of your energy. Don't live the life thinking that I have lived my life for the societal expectation of happiness. It should be your happiness, right? So you all must understand to love yourself enough, right? To take the actions that you need to take that will uplift your life. If you're not going to take those actions, nobody else is going to take those actions. This is not a very rebellious statement, what I'm making. කිසිම කෙනෙක් කියන දේවල් ගණන් ගන්න එපා ඉස්සරහටම යන්න කියන එක නෙවෙයි මම මේ කියන්නේ. right? තමන්ට ඕන දේ තමන්ට උවමනා දේ ප්‍රයොරිටයිස් කරන්න මගේ පුතාලා දැනගන්න ඕනේ. තමන්ට උවමනා දේ තමන්ට ඕන දේට උපරිමෙන්ම ආදරය කරන එකත් කරන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ. You need to absolutely love it. You need to love it first. Just because your parents say to love it, you will not build up that love. Right? We all have different reasons to do things in our life. අපි සමහර වෙලාවට කරනවා අම්මා තාත්තා වෙනුවෙන් කරනවා. අරයට පේන්න කරනවා. We do that also, no? Wait, will you? I'll show. I'll do this and I'll show. By the time you showed it, right? You realize that they have found someone else to bully. You're not their priority anymore. Your entire desire, passion, and everything gone then and there. Right? Then you feel like I cannot move forward. That is something that will happen to you. So fundamentally, do anything and do it for yourself. right? In this world, if anybody can limit you as a person, that is only you. Like I said, Putala, I have met so many women, men down this journey, right? So many who were criticized, who were thrown sarcasm, right? Who were thrown limitations, all of that. But the most beautiful factor is when you see women who has reached to great heights in life, even men who have reached to great heights in life. Do you think they've had it easy in life? Huh? Do you think that everything was given to them on a silver platter, saying, "Hi, yes, take it, take fame, and all this strength and courage"? ඔක්කොම මෙහෙම සිල්ල platter එකක තියලා දීලා තියෙනවා the education and all of this? No. I've had the privilege of recently meeting this girl. I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. She was very popular. She's this lady who's designing engines for Rolls-Royce. I don't know whether I just forgot her name. We just missed it. If Hasini can find out, please. She was all over newspapers, and very young girl, huh? Very younger. But she also had it very tough, going into an industry where it was very much male dominant. There were a lot of people who were older than her, and she being a younger individual. Sometimes people don't want to listen to younger people, no? Think that they don't have wisdom yet, right? But every step, like she said, yes, I'm living with comfort and everything. My name is out there. People are talking about me, but I face so much in life, right? I have faced individuals, friends who are, of mine, who wanted to do something else entirely in their life, who would have studied something entirely different in their life, but ended up doing what they're doing now, right? Change of path at any time in their life. You must be knowing Dr. Vindhya Rankodke, right? Yeah? Dr. Vindhya, who's in IEEE. Do you know her, Hasini? Dr. Vindhya Rankodge, do you know her?
I'm so sorry, I don't know, Miss.
Okay, so you'll find out and see she's actually one, like a top level individual. She's from SLIT, right? And she's actually currently working in the capacity of a lecturer and all that. And she's a big figure when it comes to IEEE. You must be having different branches, right? So she's in IEEE. So Windy in school, right? And one day we met and she's Dr. Vindhya there. And I'm here. She was giving my introduction. And to see her in that level, which we never thought in school we would be anybody, right? We never thought that we would be anybody in our life. There were a lot of teachers who said that we are never going to make it in life also, right? මෙතන ඉන්න දුවලා එක පුතාලා අහලා තියෙනවද දන්නේ මම නම් ඕන තරම් අහලා තියෙනවා කිසිම වැඩකට නෑ කවමදාකවත් ඔය විභාගේ නම් පාස් වෙන්න නම් බෑ කිසිම විදිහකින් කියලා. I don't know whether it's a curse of the teachers also. I actually didn't get through my A levels also, right? So when I get these very young girls coming and crying to me saying, I don't think I did my A levels really well, I tell them, baby, I got 3 Fs for my A levels, right? So imagine a failure like that. Some individual might think that is it, right? But I never let that limit me as an individual. I had my fair share of terrible, horrible, miserable going in my life at that time. I lost my father when I was 18 years of age. I was extremely emotionally disturbed. I don't know whether I went through depression, but maybe something of that sort. I wanted to end my life. I was very suicidal as an individual, right? I wanted to be a doctor so badly in life. Wanted to be a gynecologist in my life from the time I knew about a career. That's what I wanted to be. But I couldn't. I couldn't invest the same energy and effort to be a doctor. ඉතින් මොකද කරන්නේ? Then I thought, okay, I'll do biomedical science. Someday I will get an avenue to do medicine. I went to Malaysia because I couldn't actually focus over here in Sri Lanka. Staying in Sri Lanka was too painful for me. Right? Went there to study biomedical science, took up psychology in my first semester as a minor subject. I end up topping the subject in that semester. I think I managed to top it because half of them were Chinese. I don't think they understood anything. Right? ඉතින් ඒක නිසා top කරාද දන්නෙත් නෑ, but I was actually good at it. I really liked it. I've been this person in school also that, this go-to person, right? For most of my friends. So that gave me that whole feel that, you know what, maybe I'm actually good at it. My lecturer said, was very beautiful, said that, Rasini, I think this is good for you. And I thought, you know what, let me give it a try. And I had a very empowering mom. I'm actually a very lucky daughter because I had a father for whom I was equivalent to a daughter and a son and everything else. He's somebody who celebrated failures with me. ඉස්කෝලේ ලකුණු 25ක් අරගෙන ගණන් වලට ගෙදර අඬ ඉති අද අපි failing celebrate කරමු කියලා celebrate කරපු කෙනෙක්. Right? So that's an epitome of a father. Unfortunately, stayed only a very short time with me. And I had a mother who supported my every decision. මොකක්ද කිව්වේ? You do what you want, but be accountable. I'm not going to say, don't do it, don't do that. Even when it comes to your marriage also. You pick the person you want to pick. I will give you all the support. I will not let anybody, any relative question you. But you need to understand that this is your choice. So then you can't be passing the ball to all the other people. Right? Saying this one said, don't do it. This one said, my mother didn't like it, so I didn't do it. No. You can't come crying to me later on saying, I don't think this is ever working for me. No. Says, understand, realize, be accountable and make that decision. Accountability කියන එක පුතාලා මට චූටි කාලේ ඉඳලා පුරුදු කරේ. Right? ඔයගොල්ලෝ ජීවිතේ ඒ දේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්නේ නැත්නම් දැන් උනත් ඒක කරන්න පරක්කු නැහැ. Right? So when you are accountable, you are responsible for the life choices you are making. And when you are responsible for the life choices you are making, you will very carefully make those choices. Right? Someday in life, you will not reach to a point and turn back and curse all those people who made those decisions for you. Right? You will be at least a happy individual saying, you know what, it's okay, maybe things didn't work out the way I wanted to work out, but at least I took the decisions I wanted to take. Right? So that is something you can live with. So if you are focusing on this component, she, the power, right? So this she is all of you, right? This she is in all of you. So my journey, if you take, failing A-levels did not limit me. Changing my dream or the career that I wanted to, again, was a big challenge. Halfway down there, I had to return back to Sri Lanka because my mom started getting sick and I couldn't stay there and provide her support. I returned back, I came back. I had to start everything from scratch, right? I've written examinations, in the state of pregnancy, in the state of every particular state, right? I have failed so many examinations. I have done so many retakes. හැබැයි මගේ අප්පච්චි මට එක දෙයක් කියලා තිබුණා චූටි කාලේ. I told you that he's a very empowering person, right? He told me that, you know what, you have your own speed, baby. You have your own rhythm. You have a very special heartbeat also. So don't think that you have to match up to other people's speed. Because all my friends were way ahead of me in life. right? I had to sometimes restart things, just after I finished A levels. Okay, so I failed, right? Some of my friends also failed me, but some of them went into corporate work. Some of them went to university. Some of them redid the examination and all that. And I was here a complete, utter mess, right? Psychologically gone, right? Left with a mom who was very badly sick. Life in and out of hospitals. I have written most of my examinations and things going from hospital, right? So sometimes a month in hospital. हम इस तरह count करना कोई hospital लेकर देंगा पे cover करला नेत्ते, right? So 18 years of age. The place that I can sleep the most is a hospital chair. You give me a hospital chair to sleep, I can sleep peacefully. A plastic chair. Because I have I have like broken, I have like break rested for about, let's say, I can break rest 5 days at a stretch without a single hour of sleep. And I have passed out, lack of sleep, because of the fact that I didn't know when my mother would want me at night, because there was a tendency she could get into coma. So me being here 18, 19 years old, not having the biggest support system, which was my father, looking after a mom and all of that, right? And saw the colors of everybody around me who came and told me, oh, be strong, be strong. I had my fair share of relations and everyone, you know, playing their part to the best. Okay. So with all that, then starting everything from scratch, again coming back to Sri Lanka. And then my mom felt, you know what, I should have somebody with me. I've said, okay. So I thought I'll get into a marriage. My mother and my father had me very later in their life. My mother was 42 years of age when she had me because she lost two sons for stillbirth. So I thought I'm going to be a young mother someday because I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. So I had my kids way earlier. I have a 12-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. There have been many a times that I've had my kids on my lap and typing assignments, right? Sometimes there were so many nights that I've cried. So many times I felt that I'm going to give it up, right? I'm going to give it up. I can't do this. This is too much. How am I going to do everything? I'm also human now, after all. Then there's this particular thing that kept me going, right? It's not to have a peaceful life someday. It's to have a life with a purpose. And I thought, what should be my purpose? I don't have both my humans with me now. And they were educators. They loved every achievement of mine. From the time that I was a flower or a tree or a rock on stage, right? Like they've had that proud feeling about me. Every little thing. They were so proud, right? Even on stage singing the national anthem or the school song, I was not even seen, but they were so proud of me, right? For every teeny weeny bit. Even I get, let's say this time I did not fail my mathematics. Let's say I got 36 out of 100, not having 35 or a 34. They celebrated it, they embraced it, loved it. So I thought someday, you know what? Through the work I do, I get the absolute connectivity with people. At least through my words, maybe someday someone might think otherwise, right? Maybe at least someday I'll be able to help someone to breathe peacefully. And that will earn merits for my Amma and Appachi. So that is going to be my purpose. So if anybody asks me a dream, Rasini, what's your biggest dream? I say, I live my dream every day. And because I have a purpose that gives me the necessary petrol and the diesel to run this body, no matter how tired it is, no matter however it is, every day I wake up with the same energy, right? Because every day I think of the fact that, these two people are with me, not physically, but they're around me. And every day I'm given an opportunity to contribute something for them, right? And that is something that keeps me going. So, girls, You might have a different purpose in life. Don't think that my life is just, going to university, now sitting for online classes, someday achieving this degree. No, think way ahead from there. Right? If you know the individual Viktor Frankl, right? He was a Nazi prisoner, concentration camp prisoner, right? Who saw uncertainty every day. Right? I have his book with me right now also. If I'm to show you, yeah. If you can buy this book, please. I will mention the name also, Hasini. It's Man's Search for Meaning, right? I said man's search, but it doesn't discriminate women, right? So Viktor Frankl, being a human, let's put it that way, right? Went to a Nazi concentration camp, experienced the epitome of uncertainty, whereas people were getting executed every day, right? His mother, father, wife, and brother, everyone died in this concentration camp. He saw people dying out of diseases and hunger, but he saw himself way, way bigger. He thought, someday I'm going to get out of this place. Take my story out there to people, right? And show them the fact that, like, look, I've had a journey. And everything that I have been through in life will someday be someone else's survival guide. And that is absolutely applicable to all of you. Let's say you are going through some struggle. Let's say Hasini is going through a struggle. Because we all have our custom made hell. That is something I personally believe in. Right. So one day I had the opportunity of meeting two girls back to back. One girl came and she told me that she's so broken because her father has passed away. And I really, really felt it. And I felt so bad. I felt so empathetic because I have been through the same pain, still going through the same pain. The girl who came next said that I'm just counting days to see that if my father passes, because I'm being tortured every day. My mom is being tortured every day. Right? That is my life. And I hope he dies, miss. That's what she said. So imagine two situations, right? Considering the same character in an individual's life. And this I have heard not just for fathers, for mothers also. Believe me, this journey, this profession has given me so many experiences like that. So therefore, right, if you are ever to think that my suffering is less and someone else's suffering is more, someone else's suffering is more, and all that. No, we all have a very different custom made suffering that is catered only to us. So copying this exam paper, this life exam paper, is never going to help you because there's a special paper made for you. And all these struggles and challenges that you all are going through in life, even though if it is boredom that you are experiencing these days, that itself is a very big challenge, right? So if you are experiencing a challenge in life, always think the fact that the challenges that you are going to go through is going to be someone else's survival guide, going to help someone else, right, in the future to fix their lives, right? Looking at you. So your journey, do not ever underestimate your journey. Right. When I look at other people's journeys, I'm absolutely inspired, believe me. No matter how big they are, no matter how small they are. What I'm mostly concerned is the fact that, they have most of these people whom I aspire to be or get inspiration from have not lost the human inside them. So another life lesson which my father gave me, baby, the world out there will always demand you to lose your human, will demand you to be bad, right? Will always demand you to be toxic, but never lose the human in you, no matter how much the society demands you to. Right? So I think for me, the best empowerment, words of empowerment for my life was given to me by a man, right? And I don't like to say it as a man. I would like to say it by a human. So all of we over here, yes, she the power, and because you are human, you have this power within you. And you have the power, you have the epitome of all the power to make a difference in someone else's life as well. You know, there is a beautiful practice, girls, in Japan. When a bowl is broken, let's say a mug like this, maybe not of so value, but let's hypothetically assume this is made out of crystal or something like that, very beautiful, right? There's a llama over here though, which I personally admire a lot, but let's say a beautiful something of value gets broken. What would you do, Zena? If a beautiful flower vase or something breaks in your house, what would you do? First thing, you'll get the yelling from your parents, or saying that such a careless, don't know where she's walking. Mona seeing in Zena. But after that, what do you do?
Mm,
You throw away the pieces? Yeah, no? You
Yeah.
clean so that anybody won't get injured or any cuts or anything, right? So in Japan, they have a different practice, girls. In Japan, they put these pieces together. How would it look like when you put, now imagine this broke, and how would it look like, Hasini? Would it look nice? No,
it would.
no. Then what do the Japanese do? The cracks that you can see, they paint it in gold. That has a very strong meaning, emphasizing the fact that you might be broken in life, but you don't have to stay broken. So something which is broken has the potential, something which is ugly has the potential to turn their lives into something absolutely beautiful. And it's up to you and you only to make that decision. If you feel through all that I have been through, I'm able to paint my cracks in gold, right? And that is something all of you can actually do, right? Hasini, I would like to take a minute. I'll show you this on video. Let me quickly share this with you also, and I would like you to see it. So going back here, there you go. Okay. Let's take a look at this, yeah?
When a bowl is broken in Japan, it's put back together with the cracks being filled with gold, creating a beautiful lining. This is to emphasize the beauty in what was once broken. They believe that when something has suffered damage and has a history, it makes it more beautiful. And the same goes for human beings. Everything that you've been through, everything that you're going through, doesn't make your life uglier, although it may seem that way when we're going through it. It's up to us to choose to paint our struggles with gold and make it beautiful. You are not broken beyond repair. You can pick yourself up and learn from what's happened and become a better person from it because of the struggle that you've been through. You can wear your scars proudly as a badge of honor, as if to say, look at what I've been through. It's made me who I am today, and I can get through anything life puts in front of me now. Nobody has had a perfect life, and nobody ever will. It's only up to us if we choose to paint our broken pieces gold and make it beautiful. Don't be ashamed of what's happened to you. Everything that has happened to you has happened to you for a reason. So the more we deny, the more we complain and don't accept what's happened to us, then it doesn't become useful. The moment that we accept and find what's useful in the struggle, the things that we've been through, that's just like us painting the cracks in our broken pieces gold, turning something that could be ugly into something beautiful and inspiring. When what you have been through is inspiration for other people, then it was all worth it. So don't get stuck on how things used to be. I once heard a quote that said, every next level of your life will demand a new you. And sometimes it takes being broken in order to become that new version of yourself. So if you're going through hard times, I hope this video can help you or some.
Right. So this is one thing that I want to show you, because as individuals, as girls and as humans, as boys, we often look at the destination. We are so focused on the destination, right? You must be having that feeling also. Someday engineer, someday CEO, someday this particular person. But it's not that what honestly truly matters, you know. It's always your journey, what it took you to get there. It took a lot for me to get to where I am today. But is my journey over? Absolutely not. Right? Just like in Nelson Mandela's book, Long Walk to Freedom, he says, you know, when you climb up a hill, then you will realize that there are more hills. You will see all those hills and you realize your journey is not yet done. There's more to go, right? So that is something you will obviously feel. So be proud of the journey, even the journey you've had so far, right? If you are ever to, right, face this journey, look back its journey, what you can think is that, you know, you need to forgive the little self of yours. Because as individuals, we have these two things that we absolutely practice in life. Number one, we worry excessively about the decisions that we've made, right? We constantly worry. Even what happened yesterday. Oh, I shouldn't have said that thing to her, you know, it just slipped out of my mouth, right? Or maybe what you've done maybe 5 years ago, right? All that. We still have those bits and pieces, some skeletons left in those things. But what you need to understand is that, you know, every day that you pass as an individual, every hour that you pass as an individual, you grow up. If I ask Hasini, how old are you now, Hasini?
I am 22, miss.
Right. So imagine you as a 20-year-old. Let's not go too far, right? Let's say something that happened when you were 20 years of age. Would you react to something similar right now? If it happens, would you have the same reaction towards that?
No, I would be wiser.
Exactly. So you won't have the same wisdom you had back then. Your wisdom would be absolutely very much different, right? So you wouldn't talk to your friends, maybe hurt someone because you knew the fact that the consequences it had, because of the fact that you've learned something out of it. So me, every hour that I have added to my life, I think I'm 100% better than how I was yesterday. I will never face a problem how I faced yesterday today, right? So that's your growth. So we overly indulge in the past. What you need to do is you need to forgive your past, right? Forgive your younger self. If you're thinking, oh gosh, why did I pick this subject? Oh God, why did I come to this university? Gosh, why did I select this subject? Why with all of that I became a member in this particular group also, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking hypothetically, right? And because in school also you do so many things and you're like, oh gosh, why did I pick this also? Why did I say yes to him? Right? Or else why did I let him go? These things are also problems that you must be going through. But it happened for a reason, right? It happened for a reason. Maybe not now, maybe a couple of years down the line, you will understand why. And then there's another thing that we indulge in, and that is excessively fearing about your future. Have any of us seen it? No, but we are scared of it. I'm definitely going to fail this examination. I don't know. I don't want to say yes to him because I know that's going to lead up to something, right? I don't want to do this. I don't want to that. What if this happened? What if that happened, right? But has it happened? No. I think many of y'all who faced your scholarship examination, you were so scared of it until you faced it. When you faced your O levels, you had the same sentiments. When you faced your A levels, you know, what the hell was O levels, man? A levels is the bigger thing. And once you're done with your A levels, now you're realizing, oh my God, those were nothing. I want to run back to my school days. What have I got myself into? Wait till you go to the society. You change your perception entirely, right? And you would want to run back to university time. So here, something that you haven't seen. Okay, you're thinking about the future too much. Any of you can give the guarantee that you're going to live tomorrow? Anybody over here can give me in writing? Yes, Miss Rasini, we are going to live tomorrow. I'm going to live tomorrow. Definitely no. That is what life is about. Life is so fragile, and you are fearing something that you have not experienced. So, if any of you have seen the film Kung Fu Panda, have you seen Kung Fu Panda? Yeah. So, I say this all the time. If you have been in any of my forums, this is like a must thing, and I practice it. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why it's called present, right? So, all of you have a gift right now to live this moment, right? Love what you do with all heart, do what you do with all your heart, right? Say sorry to someone if you feel like saying sorry. Say I love you to your parents if you feel like saying it, right? Because for me, this particular lesson of Master Uge was very badly taught by my father, right? And I don't want to go back to those memories, but yes. So therefore, don't ever underestimate the power of now at this moment, right? At this moment, you can be an entirely different version of you if you want to, right? So if you take the concept of she the power, and that is absolutely you. I don't have to come here, talk to y'all, empower you, and give that power to you, right? I'm in no position to give that power to you, right? Don't ever let anyone else give it to you, because then what will happen? The moment that person is not there, you will not have that power anymore. So you need to know it's there inside you, ignited in you. You are the one who need to take that decision and put that spark so that fire will keep on burning within you, right? So that is regardless of gender, regardless of the age. If you feel like you want to have an entire different life when you turn 50 years of age, girls, it's possible, right? It is absolutely possible. I have a very good friend called Mr. Paul Rogers, who is a very renowned novelist. He's a Amazon bestseller novelist as well. I met him in a forum. He's a Canadian. He was a very successful financial lawyer. Somewhere down the line, he felt that he's not happy, wanted to become a kite surfer. Dropped everything, became a kite surfer, right? And then when he was a kite surfer, he suffered from a very chronic case of cancer, stage 4. He overcame the cancer. He was a cancer survivor. He met with a fatal accident, a car hit by a train. The doctors were about to pull his plugs off, and then yet he survived. And then dropped the case of kite surfer, took his journey, his story, became a life coach, and extremely happy now, right? Close to 60 years of age, he's living his life. So he tells me every different level in your life demands a new you, right? Today you want to be this, tomorrow you might want to be someone else. But be someone else because you want to be someone else. So my dearest girls, and if there are boys over here, so I would like to tell you, love yourself enough, right? Love yourself enough to take that action. That is something you should do. Otherwise, it will be injustice to yourself. So love yourself enough to prioritize your happiness, not anyone else's happiness. So love yourself enough to stay away from toxic people, negative drama in your life, right? So love yourself enough, right, to lift yourself, right? And you have the capacity to love yourself enough to absolutely love the beautiful mess you are, just the way you are. Whether you are short haired, long haired, right? Straight, or permed, or twisted and curly, or maybe hair going nowhere. Okay. Dark skin, fair skin, absolutely glowing skin, right? It's always very subjective, right? So beauty should be your version of beauty and embrace that version. And this power that all of you all are talking about, you will absolutely find it. It's just a matter of looking for it. Thank you, Hasini, and thank you, my dearest girls and boys. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rasini, for that very insightful session. And we can move on to the questions and answer session now. If anyone has any question, please raise their question.
Miss Rasli, I would like to ask, what was the best motivation behind you to become the person who you are today?
The best motivation behind me for me to become the person I am today, I think people. I think for me, I absolutely love people, and this is very genuine. It's because of that genuine factor. Because I think, Sandali, every individual I meet in life, I learn something from them. I don't spare anybody. Like even talking to them, believe me, it has absolutely helped me. Because even I have, I love being around these young girls and boys. I have even, for example, let's say leave aside anything so big, I have learned about BTS also, right? And yes, it's inspiring every day now. Even like my niece was here a while ago, 13, 14 years of age. Talking to her, that is also, I think, it just motivates me. It's more like I'm learning so much through people. And I think the value and the importance of people, and the lessons that they give you, right, I think came from my father. When he was getting so older, that he used to once tell me that I haven't earned merits going to the temple, but I have earned people, right? So he was somebody like that. And I think maybe that's one reason also. I think maybe that could be one biggest motivational factors. But I think people generally, they are my biggest motivation to do what I'm doing.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, darling.
I'll raise my question. Earlier in the session, you said that we are the ones who define our own empowerment. Is there any tips or way that help us define our own empowerment if we haven't already defined it yet or found it?
Maybe if you are feeling confused at this moment, it's perfectly fine to be confused. See, some people identify this empowerment by the time they are like about to get into their deathbed. Right? So it just happens. Sometimes people just wait for it to fall from the sky and land on their lap. But at the same time, I think what you should pretty much do is, even now itself, you just can write and see. Put down. I always tell people to write. Okay, that is something. It's very therapeutic and it's very effective. Write what you love. Write what you hate. Right? Write what you are passionate about. And also write what do you really want in life. After you do all of these things, right? Where do you want to see yourself? Doing what? Right? What do you want to do after getting this degree, coming out of university? Right? What do you honestly want to do? Right? And also, I would like to say that as individuals, we are constantly in the preparation to live. From the day we are born, right? Now we have to go to school. It's not our choice, I know. Nursery, we go. Is that enough? No. Then we go to school, right? That's also not enough. Then we go to university. Now we all are there. Still not enough to live. Then you come out, you find a job. Halfway down the job, you will realize this is also not enough, because I need to have an MBA or some higher qualification, because every Tom, Dick and Harry, they're climbing the ladder and I'm just stuck here. If I do not have any other education, then you do those things also. Then not enough. Then the societal, all the pills will come. What, you have to get married, otherwise the biological clock is ticking. Right? So you do that also, because now still you're in the process to live. Okay, you're still preparing. Then your aunties and uncles, everybody, now it's high time 2 becomes 3. Right? Then you swallow that pill also. Right? Then you want to you want to get a house of your own, because literally, like, all the engineers in your caliber, they have their houses and built large 2-story and 3-story and all that. You want to have a really good car also, because now you can't just driving a Maruti and all that around. You need to get like a super car and all that. And then you need to have your kids also. Now you're thinking, okay, no, by the time I'm like about 50, my kids are also up to a certain age, they can also look after themselves. Then I'm going to earn like a lot of money, and then a lot of savings, and then I'm going to live. And then you die when you're around 40 years of age. Yeah, exactly how you just raised your eyes like that, it'll happen. Right? So you've never lived your life. You've always been in the process of trying to live, like, I'm going to live someday. No, but you can live every day. But if you want to, for example, you don't need very big things to live every day. I always tell my clients, I tell my students, you know what? Take a journal, write one thing that brought a smile to your face every day. Every day before you go to bed, go with that thought. At least, for example, if you like eat your favorite flavored ice cream, suddenly you went and sneak peeked into your fridge, and usually you have all your mother's vegetables and everything, all leftover food, but today you saw something different in the fridge, brought a smile to your face. That is good enough, right? For me, if I walk out and I see somewhere rambutan somewhere, that is a very good enough reason for me to live that day. I would eat like an entire bag. I wouldn't even share with my kids. I would eat it, right? Like a freaking psycho, and that would bring a smile to my face. I mean, every day, find one reason. If you, let's say, by the end of the night, you don't have a reason, at least, like, think about maybe something. Think about your dream, right? This is, someday. So I'm one step, one day I have achieved to reach over there. Or maybe you can write down what you feel. Say anything, maybe if you're good in something, practice that thing, and then maybe be happy about that. Listen to a song that just, maybe elevates you entirely. Think about your crush and listen to a song. Right? Imagine yourself in a chiffon sari or something like that, if you're very dramatic and all that. And think about it. Right? So you can actually, as individuals, we can. And if you, let's say, for example, even that you do not have, and you think, oh God, I don't have anything. I always tell the people around me, do you say, I would ask this question from you. Hasini, do you say thank you to people a lot?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, so when was the last time you said thank you? You said thank you to me, right?
Yes.
Many a times, yeah. So if I ask you this, when was the last time you said thank you to your heart?
Never.
Something to think about. This bloody thing, right? 22 years of age, you said, right? Beating for you 22 years without taking a break. What if your heart thought, I'm done and dusted beating for this woman, man, she's so ungrateful, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. What will happen? Game over, right? Therefore, I think that's a good enough reason. When you're going to bed, you can think, my heart is beating still at this very moment. Thank you so much, right? You've given me so much to experience from the time I'm born. Yes, I have had terrible, horrible, miserable times also, but at the same time, there were so many amazing moments too. So if any one of you feel overwhelmed, my dear girls, you put down this on a piece of paper. You can even make this list right now. If you put a list saying on one side, what I don't have, and you make a list of things that you don't have. And the next list, if you put what I have, At night before going to bed, make this list. Okay, so starting from the fact that you have a beating heart, where many people heart which was breathing yesterday are not breathing today, right? And then you can start off with your pair of lungs. If you can breathe like this, so many people are fighting over life support at this time, breathing through ventilators. You saw in India a couple of months back, right? How people were ready to give anything for a bit of oxygen. Your lungs are functioning. Then what will happen, Hasini? You're 22 years of age. What if you had a brain capacity of a 5-year-old going through a condition like Down syndrome, global development delay? How would you be, right? You know, you're passing stool and passing urine at the same place in a diaper. There are so many individuals living like that. So all of you can think that I'm so happy that my brain is perfectly, adequately functioning, right? Might not have a super brain, right? But still, you know, I'm studying damn engineering, man. You know, I'm smarter than a lot of people. I'm smarter than Miss Rasini also, which is true, which is very true. I have a lot of respect for engineers, believe me. I was freaking out for mathematics. And anything, electronics, electrical, oh boy, I can just barely put a bulb. That's all. I suck at everything else. Okay, so there you go, right? My brain is functioning. Then all the body parts in you, your eyes that you can see, your ears you can hear, you have a mouth you can talk. How many people are deprived of all this? For me, the biggest blessing that every time I feel is that I have a sister-in-law who's 38 years of age, have seen this world who's 40 years of age now, has seen this world for 38 years. After a brain tumor surgery, she lost her sight. She has 2 kids. And babala dennawa atagala tamai balanne loku velada, mahat velada. Size එක කොහොමද මගේ පුතාලා කියලා අත ගාලා බලන්න. ඒක දකින හැම වෙලාවකම I can't be grateful enough for my eyes. Right? So that is one thing. So I'm so grateful that these two I can still see. Right. එතනින් එහාට ගත්තම you have your hands, you have your legs functioning properly. How many individuals do not have this? From birth, if you have a disability, at least you are adaptable to that life. But what happens to those who go through accidents and then lose their mobility? I've done an internship in Victoria Home for Incurables, and it's painful to go there. Have you ever been to Apeksha Hospital? The individuals over there, that is hell on earth. Fighting every second for life. Right? Going through chemotherapy, you name it, they have it, all the bodily, trauma that they go through. Not just one person. When you get an individual who's going through cancer, every individual in the family suffer from it. Every individual. Right? So you are blessed. Not for tomorrow, but at this moment you don't have it. You are blessed. Right? Other than that, you must be having lots of complaints about your house. Maybe your parents must be fighting like cats and dogs. You have siblings who are at your throat, right? You might not like the color of your room, right? Maybe there's water dripping from here and there when it's raining. Goda complaints that you podi very යාළුවෙක්වත් එන්න කියන්න බෑ ගෙදරට and all those things. But you have a house, isn't it? You have a roof above your head. How many individuals in this world? I mean, if you look at what happened in Israel and Palestine, Gaza Strip, you remember, right? You've seen news. Within seconds, houses flat onto the ground. How many individuals are living in IDP camps? You have a house, you have a roof for your protection. You must be complaining of all the food. My camp with I can't even go out and eat peacefully, but you are getting food on the table. Whereas there are so many kids in this world who would ask for medicine to stay without hunger. So whenever you feel like life is overwhelming and maybe you don't have anything, you can put down this list and see the fact that Oh, yeah, there you go. Compared to so many, I absolutely have a lot which I never even acknowledged. Right? So, inspiration is then and there. So, someday, baby, when you are on that deathbed, you will not think of all the money you earned. You will not think of all the degrees you earned, the qualifications you have. This thing will pop into your mind. What have I done? Huh? What have I done? What have I given back? ඕකනේ මතක් වෙන්නේ. ඒක මතක් වෙලා තමයි ආච්චි අම්මලා සීයලා හැම ඇරියස් ඔක්කොම කවර් කරගන්න පන්සල් ගානේම දුවන්නේ අන්තිම වෙනකොට ඉන්නකම් කුහකම් කර කර හිටිය හැමෝටම අම්මෝ යන තැනකට කිසිම දෙයක් කරගෙන නැහැ. There you go. And that is something you can start from smaller days. Right? So making a difference in someone's life is something that you can do. As an individual, never underestimate yourself. Hasini, let's say if you listen to a friend who's going through a problem, if you tell an individual, look, I may not understand so much, but I'm here for you, I'm there for you. You tell me anything. If it makes you feel so, light in your heart, right? You don't need a degree in psychology to do that. You just need a very caring heart. You can maintain, like I told you, never to lose that human in you, no matter how much the society demands you to lose it. And when you're going to bed that day, you feel like, my purpose for the day is done. Right? Okay? So, for you, if you still haven't found that particular inspiration, empowerment, it's just a matter of poking and picking and finding it out. And every day, every step, every individual you meet in your life gives you that opportunity. The only thing is we are not mindful about it. Right? So you have a bigger purpose. You as a girl, as a woman, getting over there in the corporate world, or maybe in the domestic world, I don't know. Right? That itself will inspire and empower so many individuals. If someday you live your life the way you want to live it, it will inspire and empower so many girls to live their life. So never underestimate your story. Someday maybe, what if you get an opportunity to come like this and speak to little ones, right? And say, look, I've never had a very interesting journey, but I lived the life on my own and I'm the happiest. You imagine how many you are inspiring that day. Right? So happiness, inspiration, empowerment, you will find it if you seek it.
I think we'll move on with our agenda. Thank you so much, Ms. Rasni. Due to the time constraint, we have to wrap up the Q&A session. And there's no more questions. So thank you so much for your advice and inspiring words. And it is indeed our pleasure to have you this evening with us. You showed us that empowerment is defined by us and us only. And the stories and life lessons you shared were truly inspiring. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and effort in motivating all of us here today. I'm sure everyone had a very insightful and interesting session. Please accept this digital token of appreciation from all of us.